Yeah, you all knew I was going to make one of these eventually. So unless you're living under a rock, which I think you're probably not, you should know that 2 weeks ago, Nintendo officially announced remakes for the Hoenn games, the Generation 3 of Pokémon. The remakes are going to be called Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now, I was originally going to be doing what I want to see in these games, but I honestly couldn't think of anything beyond a few Mega Evolutions and fixing X and Y's frame rate issues, so I just thought, do top 10 Pokémon instead, it's easier. Now, please bear in mind that I've only played these 2 games, so before you start hating, I just realised that this camera mirrors everything, but before you start hating, please realise that your favourite Pokémon may not yet have been used by me, so this is completely a personal list. And maybe I'll update it in the future when I've played more of the game. So, yeah, let's get this show on the road! Okay, with this one I think it's best we start with the Pokédex entries. The arcing movement and glitter of the pendulum in Hypno's hand lull the foe into a deep hypnosis. While searching for prey, it polishes the pendulum. Seeing its swinging pendulum can induce sleep in 3 seconds, even in someone who just woke up. When it's very hungry, it's humans it meets to sleep and then feasts on their dreams? It carries a pendulum-like device. There was once an incident in which it took away a child it hypnotized? Okay, hold it. You know, for a kids game, Nintendo, you love to cram in the creepy shit, don't you? This is, of course, Hypno, the Hypnosis Pokemon. I got a Drowsy for no real reason on my first run-through of Soul Silver, but I didn't really use him. Then on my second run-through I used him as one of my main players, and when it evolved into Hypno I decimated everything I came up against, blitzing the Team Rocket HQ. As far as typing goes, as a pure psychic, it isn't the most immune defensively, but it is only weak to 3 types in Bug, Dark and Ghost. It has no immunities and is resistant to fighting and other psychic types. Not amazing, but decent. The stats are alright, with its high point being special defense, but the main reason I like him is the creepy background. Just remember, you aren't even safe if you sleep with one eye open. Yeah, you know you're a badass when your signature move's called Oblivion Wing. What words can I use to describe Yveltal? None that have been invented yet, that's for sure. Yveltal's awesome levels are over 9,000! His epic appearance is the sole reason I chose Y over X. As far as legendary Pokemon went, Black and White introduced what is technically referred to as a metric shit ton. But with the 6th gen, Nintendo went back to the series' root by having very few legendary Pokemon. In the game at the moment you have Xerneas, Yveltal and Zygarde, and buried deep within the code are Volcanion, Diancie and Hooper. So far though, it's clear they went for quality over quantity. Like with Hypno, its resistances aren't spectacular, but they're good enough to get the job done, complete with immunity to Ground and Psychic. Its ability Dark Aura will greatly boost its power, so this legendary is definitely a force to be reckoned with. It has maddeningly good stats with high attack, HP and special attack. The main selling point of the Lord of Destruction though is its signature move, Oblivion Wing. Not only does it do huge damage, but half of the HP you take from the opponent will come back to Yveltal and heal it. That's just OP. When this legendary Pokemon's wings and tail feathers spread wide and glow red, it absorbs the life force of all living creatures. GG Yveltal, you earned your title. Just try and tell me that a Pokemon who goes into hiding because it's too powerful doesn't deserve a spot. The second legendary to make the list, Lugia, is a Pokemon I actually use in my Soul Silver team. It comes with Aeroblast and Extra Sensory right out of the box, so there is no way you won't be able to use this Pokemon as soon as you get it. Unless you're one of those anarchists who hates legendary Pokemon. Right off the bat we can see his stats are great, with particularly high defenses. He is resistant to more types than the last 2 entries and is completely immune to ground, though a multitude of weaknesses may class as a drawback. Really though, the main reason he's here is that the slightest twitch of his wings can rip apart a house, and a full-on flap can cause a 40-day storm. Beat that if you dare. What's not to love about a hyper-intelligent, docile, endangered turtle fairy? Not much, and that's probably why Lapras' design is so good. As you can see, they have pretty good stats, with a lot of bulk in terms of HP. A true defensive wall, nothing on Chansey, but still pretty good. Its only resistances are to its own types of ice and water, and it has no immunity unless its ability is water absorb. 4 types are super effective on it and the rest damage normally. You even get one free in X and Y. My Lapras proved herself useful on a multitude of occasions. Though the question remains, if being able to understand human speech is enough of a selling point to put it in the Dex entry, how the hell does any other Pokemon understand commands in battle? Wouldn't you know it, this Pokemon's responsible for all sorts of things, from sudden chills to shadows spazzing out. Gengar, being one of the only ghost types in the first game, receives the blame for most fears in one Dex entry or another. They're sturdy poison ghost types with pretty good stats, emphasizing on speed and special attack. Throw the new Gengarite into the mix and holy shit are those stats mind-blowing. Of course their appearance change is pretty cool too. They have decent resistances and 3 immunities, which becomes 2 when Mega Evolving them switches the ability Levitate for Shadow Tag. He's a remarkable wall and by far my favourite poison type. But with all these options, what do? Spam Toxic and Venoshock. To each his own. Oh god, the fanboys are going to eat me for this one. Charizard is... Can you hear me out, please? Just listen, please. Hear me out. I have a reason for this. As I was saying, Charizard is an extremely good Pokemon. One of very few non-legendaries to make a game cover, and he deserves it. He ripped through Y with a fiery vengeance, one-shotting Pokemon after Pokemon, gym after gym, and the Charizard I only hoped a little bit. He's the first Pokemon I trained to level 100 and stands as the most powerful Mon in my party. So why is he only at number 5? Simple, he's just another dragon. I know that's weird, especially coming from me, but the fact remains. There's also the fact that it took him 15 years to actually make him Dragon type, and even that's only on one of his 2 Mega forms. Also, he's overdone. Sue me, but it's staying at number 5. Now that my shield should protect me from oncoming fanboy projectiles, onto his stats. They're good across the board. Mega Charizard X appears to be more of a physical attacker, with higher stats in the physical attack and defense, where Mega Charizard Y is more into special attacking and defending, a powerhouse all round then. Charizard and his Y form both have the same resistances and damn, they're resistant to plenty of good types. Look at them! Fighting, Steel, Fire, Grass, Fairy, he's resistant to ground and only 3 types are super effective. That's mad! His X form loses the resistance to Fairy and Bug in exchange for electricity and loses the ground immunity. As I said, ridiculously good in battle but overused and bland on the design front. Next! Nathan approves this choice. What you get when you cross a Fluffy with the colour yellow and a set of shears? A really bad joke and an Ampharos. It's shocking how I managed to avoid jokes and puns for so long, but hey, I'm not about to go around being sheepish about it. Seriously though, Ampharos is a powerhouse. A ridiculously great electric type available early on in Gold and Silver. The guy will have your enemies paralysed with fear. Just take a quick peek at those stats. Very solid with high special attack. Now throw some Ampharos into the mix. There we go. Good luck getting through 165 attack power. I actually haven't had the pleasure of meeting Mega Ampharos yet, but I look forward to the day. He's only resistant to 3 types, but countering that he's only weak to 1. Once Mega evolved, he becomes half dragon, adding on resistance to fire, water and grass, but adding weakness to dragon, ice and fairy. Overall, a very strong teammate. The chance of him losing is less than being struck by lightning. I think that cry tells you everything you need to know about Typhlosion. Where do I begin? I suppose I'll get the sentimental stuff out of the way first. He was my first Pokemon, yada yada yada. But then I look at this thing and realise nothing else matters. He's a freaking dinosaur with a freaking mane of fire! And anything it touches is set ablaze? Holy crap! Right, yeah, stats. As you can see, he's a very fast special attacker. He's a pure fire type and that gives him loads of resistances compared to a few weaknesses. Seriously though, did you really need to know that? He rubs his fur together and explodes. It's a very nice Pokemon Center you have there. Thank God these things aren't found in the wild. If ever there was a Pokemon with a creepy fan club, this would be it. Godwa has been a fan favourite since its introduction in Gen 3. Quite rare, very powerful, not to mention, according to his Dex entries, loyal. Such was its popularity that when the Fairy type was added, they gave her an upgrade to get fans to use the new type. I caught a Ralts early on, but I didn't train it until after the Elite Four, when in a cafe in Lumio City, the champion Diantha gave you her Godwa right. Yes, Godwa was good enough for the champion. So I trained it and made it into a Godwa. It is now one of the best Pokemon I own, capable of destroying people in triple battles with Dazzling Gleam and being annoying to people with Hypnosis and Dream Eater. But enough about that, onto stats. Low physicals and HP, decent speed, high specials. High becomes insane when that Mega Ring does its thing, increasing its stat total by a nice round 100. It has 2 resistances and the newfangled immunity to Dragon, but it's weak to Poison, Ghost and Steel. Another powerhouse in all, but what could possibly top it? Oh yeah! How could I not? H-Slash is a haunted sword, for Christ's sake! A haunted sword that has the wisdom to tell exactly who is destined to be king! Stats first then. Aegislash has 2 forms, Shield and Sword, which it switches between using its ability Form Change, which automatically activates depending on what moves you use. Shield form is okay across the board, with Nuts defense and special defense. Sword form is okay across the board, with Nuts attack and special attack. With the fairly unusual typing of Ghost Steel, that gives it resistance to 10 of the 19 types. That's over half of them! He's immune to a further 3 and weak to 4, leaving only 2 to damage normally. But damn, those are some nuts defenses right there! The true strategy with Aegislash comes with its moveset. You can sit there in shield form, buffing yourself with things like Swords Dance and debuffing your enemy with its signature move King's Shield, a version of Protect that lowers the attack stat of anyone who physically attacks you in the turn you're protected. Then you go into Sword form and take him out. Awesome to look at, awesome to use. How couldn't he be number 1? So there you have it, my top 10 Pokemon. So, do you agree with me, do you disagree with me? What's your favourite Pokemon? Let me know down below, because I always like to know what you think. That is the question of the vid, by the way. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for this episode. I'll see you next week. Take care. I've been Ludus Defectishow, you've been amazing, and I will see you guys next time.